Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're looking at the Power Player, another Famicom/NES clone console. As you can see, this one looks like an N64 controller, and there's several variations out there in the world, and originally it was packaged with a light gun and second player controller, which unfortunately I don't have. So we see that we have like what looks like an analog stick here. It's essentially the same as a D-pad. We have a reset button which you hold for a couple of seconds to return to the game select screen, and we have the start and select buttons and non-turbo and turbo versions of the B and A buttons. If we look at the back, we have a power switch, DC in, that needs 9 volts. We have a DE9 connector for the light gun and second player controller, and we have mono audio and composite video to connect to a monitor or TV. Underneath, I don't have the battery pack, but it would go in there so you can run it off batteries, and we have a cartridge connector for Famicom games or NES games with an adapter. Now, slight problem if you look at a standard Famicom cartridge, Super Mario Bros. 3 for example, it doesn't actually fit, because the problem is these plastic bits are in the way, so you'd actually have to trim them off, which is kind of stupid. But if you look at like these packaged multi-in-one cartridges like that came with the FC Compact, they will fit in no problem, like so. Sorry. There we go, that's better. A bit hard to do on camera. But yeah, so that fits in absolutely fine where standard Famicom cartridges don't, so that's kind of annoying. Returning to this connector, as I said, I don't have the second player controller, but I worked out the pinout, which is on my site, along with other information, and it turns out a few of the other clone consoles have compatible controllers. So for example, you might remember the FC Compact. This has the same compatible connector, and so you can just plug that in and it will work absolutely fine. So that's very convenient. Lastly, just to show you before you look at other details, this LED in the middle is kind of annoying. It lights up different colors depending on what button you press, and if you don't press anything for a few seconds it starts flashing at you. So if I plug in some power, okay, and that is on, you can see it will light up different colors, and if you wait, I think it's like 7 seconds, it will start flashing. There we go, just to remind you that you've stopped playing. But there you go, that is the Power Player. We will look at the internals and we'll look at gameplay. Okay, so here we have the Power Player in pieces. You can see that the plastic is actually black inside. This is the so-called analog stick, which is just 4 contacts, as it's the same as the D-pad. Here we have the power in and power switch, and this is like a voltage regulator circuit. We have the battery contacts, audio and video connectors, and we have this ribbon cable that goes off the other board, which is nicely labelled. If I just zoom in a bit and it focuses, we have the power and NTSC selection is just a connection on the back, and this is set to PAL, so unfortunately games do run slower. And if we just look at the bottom, you can see that we have a chip on board. So this is a cheap way to make a chip, and it also disguises what it does. This possibly handles import audio video, I'm not sure at the moment. And then we just have some battery contacts. And then we go over to, oh actually before we go over to the other board, just to mention the LED is down here. This is actually a tri-color LED, but they use just 2 colors. And then we've got this other board here, which has a cartridge connector, and it says chip on board on a board on the board. This is most likely the flash memory that stores the games. On the other side, we have another chip on board and a quartz crystal, so I'm guessing this is handling the actual Famicom emulation and obviously interfaces with the cartridge connector. And then we have this another ribbon cable going off to the second player connector. So that is the internals, and next we will look at some gameplay.
You